I stand beneath your star, your moon. The night will pass, my darling, soon. The wild goes by, but wait, stand still. They'll chase you down, but wouldn't kill. The gray seems gray in your eyes, the bright shade of your blue is light. You say everything, everything's just perfect. Everything's fine. You say everything's just perfect. Everything's fine. From day to day, I see it more up in the clouds, down on your floor. How fleeting was what we once had. Our tears, the rain, your heavy blood. You say everything's just perfect. Everything's fine. You say everything's just perfect. Everything's fine. everything, everything, everything's just perfect. Everything, everything, everything's fine. You say everything, everything, everything's just perfect. Everything, everything, everything's fine. It's hard to breathe inside the dome. I used to call home, stuck in the world that I was craving for. I try to change the way I see the world around me, but every time I end up where I begin. In the same way, I always do my part. I try to make it stay. It's the same play, but with a change of heart. If I turn the other way, will you follow? If I try to get away, will you let me? When I turn to you one day, will you try to make me see a different way to make this end or start over? Give me all the space I want, so much I get lost. It's hard to get it off my searching mind. Maybe I will never learn to find the right words when I want to pull you right back in the same way, I always do my part. I try to make it stay. It's the same play, but with a change of heart. If I turn the other way, will you follow? If I try to get away, will you let me? When I turn to you one day, will you try to make me see a different way to make this end or start over? over.
at detention centers around the country, including San Diego and the Pacific Northwest, over fear of contracting the coronavirus.
We're seeing that people are not even being provided with the fundamental CDC mandated requirements.
Brian Griffey with Amnesty International said ICE claims it's locked down facilities, but instead,
it's transferring thousands of detainees between facilities across state lines, which is spreading this infection like wildfire.
Amnesty International investigators say that immigration attorneys around the country have reported that ICE is not providing enough soap or sanitizer to detainees, and that ICE is not properly isolating detainees who are sick.
The same incompetent, unacceptable, outrageous in the context of this pandemic behavior by this administration.
Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley says it's hard to verify what is and is not happening at ICE facilities because of a lack of transparency. In a statement, ICE denied the allegations, saying sick detainees are housed separately and some are hospitalized. Soap is provided in all showers and sinks, and sanitizer is available for staff. ICE also says more than 160 people have been released from custody because they are high risk due to age or other health issues, and the agency continues to evaluate others. In Washington, Alexandra Limon.
Faced with the prospect of an extended absence from Washington, the House of Representatives is moving at least some of its work online.
It is a smart thing to move us forward.
For at least the next 2 weeks, lawmakers like Virginia Congressman Don Beyer and Bobby Scott are required to submit proposed legislation and other documents electronically.
It's going to be great to continue to be able to not just file bills, but gather another 10 or 15 co-sponsors on a bill.
Makes it possible to introduce bills and resolutions without having to actually show up.
Virginia Representative Abigail Spanberger says this makes a difference for those who live far away from the Capitol.
That travel back and forth has implications not just for the members who may have to travel much farther than I do, but also for our local communities.
House members say this break from tradition could advance the use of technology in Congress.
This may be, a foreshadowing of remote voting in the future.
We need to automate more of government. We need to make it more user-friendly.
Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett is embracing the change and agrees the electronic options could help government work more efficiently. But for now, while they could be extended, the new filing methods are only in place until April 19th. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Please don't politicize this virus. It exploits the differences you have at the national level. If you want to be exploited, and if you want to have many more body bags, then you do it. If you don't want many more body bags, then you refrain from politicizing it. It's like playing with fire. So more than ever before, national unity is important if we care about our people, if we care about our citizens. Please, unity at national level. No using COVID for political punches. And then second, honest solidarity at global level. And honest leadership from the US and China. We shouldn't waste time pointing fingers. We need time to unite.
My name is Sanam Ahmed. Today is Saturday, April 4th. I'm a critical care attending with the Institute for Critical Care Medicine at Mount Sinai Hospital. I'm doing a night shift tonight. I will be responsible tonight for critical care consults on COVID patients. I just parked and I'm about I'm about to enter the hospital. I guess when I left my house today, I sort of had mixed feelings. On one hand, I left my kids at home so that I could go and fight this war along with my colleagues. But on the other hand, I feel optimistic. I feel hopeful because as a critical care physician, this is what we've trained for. I'm entering the hospital now. I'm gonna head upstairs now, start my job. And here we are. All right, so everybody working hard. I'm gonna find the patient that I need to address. I'm here because I just brought someone here. We had a lady that I was asked to see on the floor who was having a real hard time breathing. So I've just intubated her. Hi guys.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good. Hanging
Yeah,
in.
working hard.
Yeah, fighting the COVID.
Fighting the good fight. Yeah, keep working hard, guys. We love you. So we have patients here ranging in age from 31 to in the 80s, and we're working hard to save them. We have our ICU team here. Hi guys.
Hey.
Everybody's working hard, awake despite the late hour. Okay, so it is the morning of Sunday, April 5th, and I have just finished my night shift. And I'm gonna I'm actually getting ready to go home now. I walked out. A little mark here from wearing my mask all day. But we made it through, and I'm gonna head home and get a little rest.
Era il termine giusto, perché adesso siamo leggermente più tranquilli.
Un paio di giorni,
Sì, da adesso, oggi, ieri, non parliamo ma all'inizio quando c'era un'affluenza di 80, 100, 150 persone al giorno, dicevi no, non ce la faremo mai, no, non è possibile. Poi ogni giorno vivevi la realtà del giorno, perché il giorno dopo comunque.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Trinidad Chief Medical Officer is calling on all private diagnostic labs to be validated. He is concerned that several tests coming from these labs are not being supported by the tests being carried out by CARFA. We have more in this report.
Citizens are choosing the option to get tested for COVID-19 at private labs instead of going through the health ministry. But how reliable are these tests? Chief Medical Officer Dr. Rushan Paraswam asserts these tests are not that reliable as you would think.
So we have had 3 instances that we had patients getting COVID positive results at private labs. And on those 3 instances, they all turned out to be negative when we did the PCR at CARFA.
He says there is no validated private labs that can be recommended. He wants them to come forward and get validation. He then gave an example to show why this should be taken seriously.
And more concerning is that they may have had people that would have gone to a private lab, got a negative test, feeling safe and go about your normal life. You feel maybe that you had a normal cold and you're mingling with the rest of the population. And then we saw in the graphic how that can cause an alarming rate of spread.
He said they can reach out to CARFA, even through the Ministry of Health, so they can be validated. Dr. Paraswam said once they're validated, they can earn the confidence of the Ministry of Health to carry out tests. CARFA's tests, however, take between 24 and 48 hours to show results. But even so, the results do not go directly to the patients, but through the channel that is in place.
So patients generally don't get the result. Usually the result is sent to the physicians. The physicians need to let you know what the result is and counsel you appropriately when they do so.
To date, there have been 107 positive COVID-19 tests in this country, with 8 deaths and 1 full recovery.
Dozens of unemployed Bahamians lined up at the Social Services Center to receive aid and food stamps due to a mass layoff brought on by the coronavirus. We have more in this report.
It's a frustrating task as these centers see scores of new aid seekers due to mass layoffs brought on by the coronavirus shutdown. Many of them say the logistics of getting help are a nightmare and they are being sent from one center to the next.
I left my baby sleeping to come out here, and now you're going to tell me I have to go pitch road?
40-year-old Desiree Rammingham-Brister says before the pandemic, she had trouble finding work due to a back injury. She says after getting the runaround at NIB and with the food shopping schedule nightmare, she's at her wit's end.
So what am I supposed to do? I'm not going on the red light. Oh, no. I love my boy too much. I love God too much to go on a red light to sell to get something for my child to eat and for me to eat. No, devil is a lie. I'm not going to do that.
Now, the stories of financial struggle are widespread. Many people at the Social Services Center we visited say they just need food to eat.
Plenty of people have food to don't have food to eat. And the people that here and the people cry. It can get scary. It can get scary.
I need assistance with rent, grocery. You got people out here who get but 5 children, and the children them got to eat.
I have 5 kids.
All of them depending on you, of course.
Yes, sir. All of them depending on me. All. So I need that thing. We need to get our government, get some type of MP, some type of representative out here. Help us, assist us, because this right here is ridiculous.
And we take another break. International stories are up next.
We know a mind is a terrible thing to waste, so let's reason. Join JNN for Reasoning with Dr. Prince Brown on Thursdays at 1 p.m. with rebroadcast Saturdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. Let's sit down and have a reasoning on JNN this and every Thursday at 1 p.m.
We have it. Live. Days, weeks, months, and years. It's never too late. It's all in one spot.
Hey folks, good morning and welcome.
In food, drop in student, Mississippi College.
Live streaming from all brands, thousands of hours of video on demand. Discover the island's best by downloading the app or typing onespotmedia.com.
brutality isn't a legality. There's no rationality as to why this abnormality should become a mentality. A mentality which kills and torture. Are you really telling me you're afraid to speak up because you might be called an informer? Let us break the barrier of brutality and enforce it with alacrity. If you know someone who has been victimized, I charge you to interrupt their situations before their oppressor continues to lurk in their lives. Let us extend our hands to our brothers and sisters who are being victimized, and never see violent acts and ignore them. Let us come together and be the example, so we may end a barrier on brutality.
We have it. Live. Days, weeks, months, and years. It's never too late. It's all in one spot.
Hey folks, good morning and welcome.
In food, drop in pipe food them, make you see about them. College?
Live streaming from all brands, thousands of hours of video on demand. Discover the island's best by downloading the app or typing onespotmedia.com. One Spot.
Welcome back to Frontline News on the international scene. Senator Bernie Sanders ended his presidential campaign on Wednesday, clearing Joe Biden's path to the Democratic nomination at a showdown with President Donald Trump in November. We have more in this report from CNN.
Bernie Sanders is suspending his campaign for the presidency. This, of course, in a campaign that has been put on pause by the coronavirus crisis. CNN's Ryan Nobles has been covering the Sanders campaign from the beginning and joins us. Ryan, the senator from Vermont finally deciding it's time to bow out.
That's exactly right, John. This is a long time coming for Senator Sanders. His campaign basically been put on hold because of the coronavirus crisis. And with each passing vote, he was falling further and further behind former Vice President Joe Biden in the delegate count. And now finally, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders has decided it is time for him to bow out of the race for president. We're told that he informed his staff during an all-staff call that took place a little after 11 o'clock today. And then later this morning at 11:45, he'll hold a live stream where he will address his supporters and talk about his reasons for getting out of the race and what his plans are going forward. Of course, John, this was a difficult decision for Bernie Sanders on many levels, mainly because he had been at this fight for so long. And I'm not just talking about his time running for president of the United States, which he's basically been running for president for more than 5 years. If you go back to his entry into the race to take on Hillary Clinton back in the last go round, Sanders has also been working on many of these progressive issues for more than 40 years of his career. And it seemed a couple of months ago that he was on the precipice of winning the Democratic nomination right before the vote in South Carolina. He had won 3 of the 4 last contests. He and his team felt that they were in a good position going into Super Tuesday. And then, of course, it all fell apart after losing big time in South Carolina. And then the moderate vote coalescing around former Vice President Joe Biden. And after that, Sanders was just never able to regain that footing that he had once established. The big question, I think, John, now is exactly what does Bernie Sanders do to encourage his supporters to get behind the campaign of Joe Biden?
A fire has ripped through a slum in Ghana's capital, Accra, leaving hundreds homeless amid measures to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus. We have more in this report from Reuters.
A fire has ripped through a slum in Ghana's capital, Accra, leaving hundreds of people homeless amid a partial lockdown. It is not yet clear what started the blaze, with though through makeshift homes constructed from wood and cardboard in the early hours of Tuesday, April 7 morning. Scrap dealer Hamdor Razak lost his home.
Because of the coronavirus, or how are they calling it, they stopped us, we shouldn't do any work. So the money that we made it to save, that money that we are using to be feeding ourselves and our family. And this fire came out, burned everything. All of us have collapsed.
Many of those living in the Old Fadama market area are poor migrants from the north working in the informal sector. Mohammed Salifu, the chairman of the youth association that represents them, said authorities had not made any arrangements to accommodate the homeless and that he expected them to share with friends or seek shelter in a church. Local media outlet Ghana Web said 800 wooden structures had been destroyed. The area was in partial lockdown to stop the spread of coronavirus. Ghana, which had reported more than 280 cases, had introduced social distancing measures, curfews in some districts, and travel bans.
It's time for a break. We'll have Frontline Sports when we return.
Welcome to The Exchange, where we delve into the business of the day.
We have to train our people. We have to prepare them for the new economy.
There is an opportunity, notwithstanding the global tension, if Jamaicans are interested in exporting.
That's The Exchange.
The Financial Gleaner JNN Business Forum.
Every third Wednesday at 6 p.m. on JNN, with a rebroadcast on TVJ every third Sunday at 3 p.m.
COVID-19 tip: protect others from getting sick by avoiding close contact when you are experiencing cough and fever. Avoid spitting in public. And if you have fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early and share previous travel history with your healthcare provider.
For a clearer understanding of the issues of the day, the cause and effect, join GNN's Insight on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Insight, a deeper look at the story behind the story. Insight, your reality check on what matters most. That's Wednesdays at 10 a.m. on GNN for your insight. GNN, news worth watching.
Welcome to The Exchange, where we delve into the business of the day.
We have to train our people. We have to prepare them for the new economy.
There is an opportunity, notwithstanding the global tension, if Jamaicans are interested in exporting.
That's The Exchange.
The Financial Gleaner JNN Business Forum.
Every third Wednesday at 6 p.m. on JNN, with a rebroadcast on TVJ every third Sunday at 3 p.m.
Welcome back to Frontline News. It's time for Frontline Sports. I'm Ashade Masters. Jamaica has partnered with the Commonwealth Secretariat in a program to help develop and monitor the contribution of sports to the nation. In making the announcement on the initiative, Sports Minister Olivia Babs-Grange sought to point out the significance of sports on and off the field to the development of Jamaica.
Well, sports has been used as a tool for development and peace, a tool for uniting communities that would otherwise be polarized. We've been able to use it effectively among the youth and to channel their energies into creative areas and to move them away from antisocial behavior.
In commending the Commonwealth Secretariat, Minister Grange also pointed out that Jamaica's success in sports should be a reason for stakeholders, including the private sector, to invest in the country.
I think it is important that the private sector invests and that all stakeholders are brought to the table, because the best investment is in our human resource and in our young people.
For the first time in its 37-year history, the World Athletics Championships will be held before August, as organizers of the 2022 edition in the United States have agreed to stage the event 3 weeks earlier than planned to avoid a clash with the Birmingham Commonwealth Games. The championships in Eugene, Oregon had already been pushed back a year after the postponement of this summer's Tokyo 2020 Olympics to 2021 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. After a week of negotiations, a compromise has been reached, with athletics governing body shifting the event to July 15 to 24, 2022. While the dates of Birmingham 2022 will remain the same, July 27 to August 7, The start of the event is now set to held no earlier than August 1. The 2019 event, held in Doha, Qatar from September 27 to October 6, marked the first time the championship went beyond September 6. Former CONCACAF president and FIFA vice president, Trinidadian Austin Jack Warner, has been named in a new court indictment which alleges FIFA executives were paid bribes in exchange for voting for Russia and Qatar to host World Cups in 2018 and 2022, respectively. Now, the wide-ranging indictment filed at the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York makes numerous accusations of corruption within FIFA, ranging from the awarding of broadcasting rights to the selection of tournament hosts. It further claimed Russia paid Warner and others to vote for its proposal, with the Trinidadian being promised and receiving bribe payments totaling $5 million. Warner, who was also president of the Caribbean Football Union, CFU, continues to fight extradition to the United States. It's also alleged that Ricardo Teixeira, the former president of the Brazilian Football Confederation and FIFA Executive Committee member, was offered and received bribe payments in exchange for voting for Qatar to host the FIFA World Cup in 2022. Now, former FIFA Vice President and South American Football Confederation CONMEBOL President Nicolas Leoz